Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the Urban Monk. I'm Gary Wick. Thank you for joining me live on A1R Radio. Tonight, I want to talk about worry and why it kills us. If you watched the show last week, you'll have heard me mention Alexis Carrel, who said famously, "Those who do not learn to fight worry die young." So I want to talk about worry and how it really effectively causes problems within the body and the health and the mind. And prior to 2018, when I was a depressed alcoholic, one of the problems that I had really was I was always trying to strive to something better in a future time, a future existence that really doesn't exist at all. I was working, doing things, and spending quite a considerable amount of time worrying about those things not happening and not coming to fruition and not being able to realize my dreams. It was when I got back to England after the road trip that I started researching the brain and neuroscience, as I said last week. And I realized, or I found that through the universal law, the universe's energy, everything in the universe vibrates at a certain frequency. Animals, trees, even buildings, the chair we're sitting on, the laptop I'm talking to, they're all illusionary, but they're really just a set of molecules that vibrate at a certain frequency, so our brain can see and accept, excuse me, exactly what they are. So it followed then that if we are thinking, a thought is a energy vibration. So whatever we're thinking or focusing about, and specifically what we're worrying about, creates that energy vibration. Through that vibration, neuroscience says that there's neuroplasticity and brain pathways are created, chemicals are created within the body. And clearly, if we are thinking negative thoughts, we can only create negative chemicals and negative energy. If we're thinking positive thoughts, we can only create positive energy and positive brain cells. So through my experience and worrying about the future, it brought me to that whole point of living in the present and being now. And as soon as we start to accept the present, because realistically, as I said last week, there is no other time. If we think about the past, we're actually thinking about it now. If we think about the future, we're thinking about it now. So we've really only got this time. And if we've only got this time, I realize that we need to accept it, acknowledge it, and it's there, so embrace it. And if the brain is vibrating at a certain level, we are connecting back to the universe. If we're connecting back to the source, the universe, God, call it whatever you want to call it, our energy vibration in the present is that of the universal vibration. Then we can only create positive health. We all know the majority of illnesses are caused by stress, heart disease, cancer, quite a lot of stomach issues. Internally, we start to worry about things. Mentally, we start to worry about things. We identify with the past. All those kind of thoughts, all those kind of energies will create that illness within the body. So if there's only the moment now, we should embrace that. Some years ago, I went to China and studied Tai Chi and Taoism. And one of the things the Taoists say is, do nothing and nothing remains undone. Well, I thought that was quite a bizarre saying because I couldn't imagine the fact that I would be able to sit on my sofa and £1 million would drop through the letterbox and I'd be rich and achieve all those kind of dreams that I wanted to achieve. What it really means is, don't force yourself into the universe. Let the universe take care of itself. So don't put your thoughts in a future time. Don't catastrophize about that future time. Make plans now, accept now, enjoy now, but only live now. If we want to get involved in the present or take part in present, I kind of get involved in teaching mindfulness. So if anybody's interested in mindfulness, you can hit me up on Long Road to Richmond or urbanmonkuk@gmail.com. And the reason for that is mindfulness is merely a way of stilling the mind. All forms of meditation are primarily about stilling the mind. just focusing on the breath, not worrying about something that's going to happen, not worrying about or remembering something that's happened in the past, good or bad. And the Chinese call that monkey mind or monkey chatter. So your brain is constantly chattering. The egoic mind, which is an energy force in itself, can't exist in the present. It wants to drag you back to the past. So you can be identifying with being an alcoholic. That was myself. Identifying with being depressed. Again, that was myself. Or it wants you to worry about a future. It wants you to think about a future plan you've made and then play a movie in your mind about what could possibly go wrong. In that moment, your thoughts and your energy is in a future time that doesn't exist. And if it's not existing, you're wasting the now, you're wasting that universal vibration. If we want to link into health, we want to link into happiness, link into spirituality, because the human mind is the subconscious part of the brain in action. So when we think, we create that what we're thinking about. Everybody watching, listening on catch up or looking at this on Facebook at some point, we are only where our thoughts have brought us. Everybody in life today is exactly where our thoughts have brought us to. We've made decisions, rightly or wrongly, and it's brought us here. We've made good decisions, and they've brought us here. That can never change. So while we're linking into that higher consciousness and becoming part of the universal energy, then the body will naturally, automatically vibrate. So within mindfulness, it's, again, I was in China learning Tai Chi and Qigong. It's about stilling the mind. Once you've learned the original form, then you perform the movements with an empty mind. It's about stilling the mind from the chatter. So something as simple as washing your hands. How does the water feel on your hands? How does the soap smell? Because if you're thinking of those things, it's been proven scientifically through brain scans that we can't think of two things at the same time. So while ever you're focusing on something that's concerning or you're getting anxious about or you're getting upset about, it's a simple case. I do exercises where you just feel how your feet feel on the floor, how your hands feel on your knees or your thighs. And so while you're focusing on that skin touching skin or feet touching the floor, you can't think of what it was you were worrying about. And it's clearly just simply about clearing your mind. In terms of energy, we're linking to the universe. The body then vibrates. Each cell vibrates, so every organ vibrates. And as I said about the laptop being different to a table, only because the molecules and atoms vibrate at a certain vibration. So your liver energy vibrates. The Chinese say liver is linked to anger and frustration. And when I was an alcoholic, the liver wasn't doing too well, but I was always angry. I was angry with my ex-partners. I was angry with work. And so I had tests and found that my liver was damaged. I had to stop drinking. I had my road trip, and then I get the clean bill of health because everything's working fine. But all those internal energies link in with your organs. The heart vibrates at a certain level. The kidneys vibrate at a certain energy level. So whenever we're getting anxious or frustrated, just take time out, still the mind, embrace the moment, be in the present, take time, relax. Internally, you still may feel worried or anxious. And in the early days, I caught myself saying, oh, I'm enlightened, I'm fine, I'm happy, everything's going really well. But I could still feel in the pit of my stomach that I was worried about something else. The key to that is by being present, you get to be able to, not straight away, it takes time, but you get to be in a position where you're able to acknowledge that thought. And having these thoughts is not bad in itself. We'll never not have bad experience. We'll never not have bad thoughts or worrying times. But you need to be able to step back, acknowledge that that's just a thought, acknowledge that that's just a bundle of energy, and go with it. Say it's there, say hello to it, and forget about it and let it go. It can't stay in your mind unless you think about it, unless you focus on it and then identify with it. Try not to have that conversation I'm going to go and do this. Well, you're not capable. Well, I'm going to go and do that. Well, do you really think you should? That's how we as humans tend to live our lives. It's simple. The egoic brain was designed, and the brain is hardwired to keep you safe. It's not designed to make you successful. It's designed purely and simply to keep you safe. So the egoic mind, or the chimp, as Steve Peters says in the Chimp Paradox, it will look for a sign of danger, fight or flight. So it will make you do something or not do something based on whether it's about time to fly, or it's time to run away, or it's time to stay and fight. When that happens, it's simply a case of identifying with a past event. If you think that's the case and you accept that you're present and you're in the now, then the egoic brain can't take control. It will try to make you live in the past or in the future. But by being in the present, we achieve harmony, we link into the universal law, we become more spiritual, we become more enlightened. And by opening up to that energy and the source, that leads us on to the law of attraction. The law of attraction will be the next subject for next week, which is about manifestation, and it's about linking into that universal energy. So Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's around those kind of thoughts. If you think something, then it will come to pass. If you focus your attention in the now on a specific thing that you want, it will come to pass. It's like I said, I spoke about last week. The mind is like a magnet. So whatever you put out there, it will draw into you. So if you want happiness, peace, and enlightenment, that's what you need to put out there. If you want love, the more you put out, the more you get back. If you don't want to be angry, don't put out angry thoughts. They come, but acknowledge them and don't carry them around with you. That's the key to all this, and the key to mindfulness, and the key to the law of attraction next week. Time doesn't exist. It's a man-made concept. You ask a cow in the field what time it is, it will just say, I don't know. That's if it could speak. Anyway, I'm getting a sound from Dave that I've got a few seconds left, and he did say to me that I was to mention that if anything went wrong tonight, it was Constance's fault, and I should say it live on air. So I have. Sorry, Constance. So I'll see you all next week. Have a great time. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you again.